A lot of people complicate success and failure. They see people winning in their field, in their space, in their industry, and they're thinking, oh my God, they must be doing so many magical things, right? Winning in anything, in any sport, in anything, comes down to principles. What principles are you following to achieve the result? And like it or not, a lot of people rely on just randomization pretty much, right? Testing, trying, doing anything and hoping something sticks. But that can only get you so far. It cannot get you all the way. And I know that you want to go all the way. When you start out in business, there's an enormous amount of challenges that you are going to face, and you have to face, right? But those are not challenges that nobody has overcome before, right? So in this video, I hope that I can share with you 4 simple principles, right, that guarantees your success or guarantees your failure. First thing, a clear goal. Most people till this day complicate goal setting. That's why every single year, January 1st, December 31st for a few people, they set new goals. New year, new me is like the theme of the year. So how exactly can you set clearly defined goals? That's something that you have to understand, right? And I'm sure when you look online, you see things like, oh, set SMART goals, right? However, as a business person who's trying to come up, if I'm still in a phase that I consider as a struggling phase, I would not bother having more than one goal in a year. Setting the goal is one thing. A lot of people are surrounded by people who, when they set these goals and they share these goals with those people, they laugh at them, they mock them, they scorn at them, right? It feels impossible. And so they are laid back. But as a business person, you want to make sure that you have a resolute mind when you set your goals. Every goal that you set in your business is not impossible. It is very possible. You know why? Because there's somebody in your industry who has achieved that. However, there is also a concept called jumping the gun. So, what phase are you? Are you still in the 0 to 1 million phase? Right? If you're still trying to crack 1 million, saying that your goal is 100 million might not even be believable by you. It wouldn't even seem practical to you who's setting the goal. So, goal setting has to be very practical. As much as you can be ambitious, you want to also make sure that you have a bit of practicality there, because at every phase of business, 0 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 50, 50 to 100, there's different things that you need to be learning through those phases. So when you hurry off to say, hey, I'm not even at 1 million yet, but I want 100 million, it's not impossible. Goal setting is not a question of what's possible and what's not. Everything is. It's a question of what's practical per phase. Because for you to crack 100 million, there's things that you have to do. And a lot of the times, if you're still at 0 to 1, you may not even have figured, you may not even be able to put the resources together to have the leverage to crack 100. Right? And when you check any single person who has ever done 100, there were phases. They didn't just get up and start doing 100. They had to first of all figure out what it takes to do 1. When you can figure out what it takes to do 1 of something, then you can scale it. So I would rather say in 3 years, I want to make sure that I have cracked 100 million. Okay? However, year 1, I don't mind if I just figure out how to do 1 million. And then in year 2, how do I go from doing 1 to 10? Right? So, clear goal setting. Clear, like something that when you wake up, it's literally at the top of your mind. Okay? It's at the top of your mind. There's nothing else. So when you set multiple complicated goals, I want to get better at this, I want to get better at that, I want to do this, I want to... Your brain cannot even comprehend every single one of it. Some days you remember 20% of the goals. Some days you remember 50% of the goals. But you want to start out in a way that you remember the main focus per time always. Every single day that you wake up, this year we're aiming to do this. This year we're aiming to do that. That's it. Like full stop. That's it. Period. There's no, every other detail doesn't serve you in that moment. Right? Because the details are what you work on every single day to get there. But the goal has to be so clear. That's all you think about. And remember, the goal is not about what's possible and what's not. It's about what is practical for the phase that you're in. That's a step many people miss. It's not about what is possible or what is not. I do not care the amount of revenue goal or target that you set for your business in a year. Somebody has done it before. That I can guarantee you. So the question of whether it's possible is thrown out the window. It is, because somebody has done it. So it's replicable. The question now becomes, at the current phase that you are, what's practical? Are you just wanting to have a big, very humongous goal in your mind that then just cripples you, right? You feel good about it, but it cripples you. You cannot act, you can't execute. Or do you want to get practical and say, you know what? I have figured out jack. Nothing, nada. I'm literally struggling right now. I'm at 0. Okay? What's the first milestone? Right? Treat your goals like milestones. Stop trying to get to the finish line. You have to actually run the race. Right? So how do I become so good at completing 100 meters before I figure out what techniques it takes to complete 400 or 1,000? Right? So very clear, focused mind. One goal that is practical for your stage. Second thing is systems. Okay? Second thing. That's another reason why you would fail or succeed. Systems. How quick are you to systemizing your process? Or every day you just try a new approach. Every month you try a new approach. Every week you try a new approach. Systems. How long do you focus on a thing to build a system around it to then easily scale it up? Versus trying this today, trying that tomorrow, trying the other thing the next time, and hoping that it works. You need systems, man. You need a way for doing things. You need a process. You need a framework, right? You need systems in your business, a way things work. That way it becomes scalable. When there are no systems and everything is random, results are random. Right? Because now you are not able to predict outcomes from the system that is in place. Are you just sitting and hoping that, because you made 3 posts on Instagram, somehow you're expecting inquiries? You're just hoping that happens. What system is in place that ensures that leads come in the door and that a certain amount of leads come in the door? When you break down your business outcomes into systems, right, based on the orchestration of input, based on the things that you're doing in the business, then you have a greater shot at winning. Number 3, long-term thinking. Too many short-term behavior. You want it all today. Are you in business to close shop in a year? I doubt it. Right? Many people are thinking, or at least hoping, they desire to be owners of their business for what? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Some people even hope that it outlives them. Great. So why are you hurrying the process? Why do you want everything today? Why do you want every single result? Why do you want your first year in business can never be your best year in business, and it should never be, right? The next year should be better than the former year. That's growth. So long-term thinking, how do you see your customers? Do you see them as one-time cash plays or people or relationships that you should nurture to be able to earn way more over the course of the lifetime value of the customer, right? So what long-term investments are you making? What long-term strategies are you deploying? Or the only thing that you think about is short-term? And then finally, people. This is one of the most underrated cards on the deck. People, right? People. I know a lot of people that say things like, yeah, I don't know how to work with people. I don't like to bother anyone. I don't like asking for stuff. Listen, every single person that you're competing with leverages their network. They pull together a network, they pull resources, they pull information, they pull opportunities. It's a shared thing. It's a collaborative effort. They are not on their own, right? They are not on their own. They don't rely on themselves alone. They rely on a network. Stop saying to yourself, I don't know how to network, or I don't have anyone, or I don't want people, I don't like people, I don't know how to talk to people, I don't know how to ask for help. Ask. Because the people that you're competing with are asking on a daily basis. No one can be perfect, but everyone has to get better at people if you want to win. Because people are the ones that give access. People are the ones that create opportunity. People. It's all people. So what have we talked about today? A focused mind, right? Clear, simple goals based on the phase that you are. Do not confuse your goals with your desires. It is perfectly okay to desire something outlandish that seems outrageous today. That's okay. But when you're building, realize the stage that you are. Why? Because you want to understand the mechanics of growing from stage to stage. Your goals, achieving your goals happen in milestones. When you figure out the base level, that's when you get to intermediate. When you figure out intermediate, that's when you get to advanced. When you figure out advanced, that's when you get to enhanced advanced, or whatever the next stage is, right? So it's a milestone-based process. When you see your goals that way, now you don't see yourself as being ridiculous anymore. You're not crippled by this big, crazy desire that is just there, that seems impossible for now. You see it more practical, because now you're like, oh, whilst I desire 100 million, I completely understand that the phase that I'm currently at is I need to first of all figure out how to do 1 million consistently for 3 months. Now it becomes practical in your mind. It doesn't mean that you don't still desire 100 million business. You do. But you now realize that the first stage, the first step is figuring out what does it take to go from 0 to 1. Now that I have done 1 consistently for 3 months, for 6 months, how do I go from 1 to 5? Because I cannot stay complacent. I have to keep growing. So how do I go from 1 to 5? Remember, the desire is still in your heart that you want 100 million someday. Great. But that's not your goal. Your goal is, how do I get from 0 to 1? I have done 0 to 1. How do I get from 1 to 5? I've done 1 to 5. How do I get from 5 to 10? I've done 5 to 10. How do I go from 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100? And then 3 years later, you wake up and you're at 100. And you think back and you're like, remember when I thought 100 million was so much? I'm here today and it doesn't feel like it. Exactly. That's because there was a process that you followed through. You didn't let the desire become the goal. Don't make that mistake. You want the desire to be the anchor for which you go through the goals. You follow through, right? So one day I want to have 100 million business. Great desire. Not impossible. Very possible. People have done it. Desire. How do I get there? Goals. What's the first thing to figure out? 1 million, then 5, then 10, then 20. And when you look back, the dots connect and you're at 100. That's how it works. So I hope with these different concepts, you've been able to figure out, even if it's just one unlock, something that you've been doing the wrong way, and now you figured something just clicked in your mind. And I hope that you take it and you win, because I promise you, these are just some of the core fundamentals of what differentiates winners from potential winners. I'll see you in the next one.